Let's chat reading journals. Do you have one? Do you keep one? Are you interested by them? Let's discuss. Hi, my name is Jeanette, and I want to thank you for joining me on the channel Jane Reads. So today we're going to chat about my reading journal, and I've been asked a few questions about my reading journal. What I include in it, I have to look at my notes. What do I include in it? How detailed do I get? Is it, you see so many styles of reading journals, especially the bullet journal style with book covers and all that. Do I include my ratings of my books? Do I include quotes from the books? Do I start a new one every year? Or do I have one that expands multiple years or carries on multiple years? Well, let's get into it. So I'm going to do this in an overhead view of my reading journal. Before we get into it, I will answer a couple of questions right away. This is last year's reading journal. This year's is exactly the same. It's a 3-ring notebook. And it's just, let me find a blank page. Maybe not. Oh, there we go. I'm like, maybe not in this one. So it's just your basic standard notebook, right? Okay. As we get into this year's journal, you'll see this was my first year keeping a reading journal, so 2022, and I really liked it. I have always kept an Excel spreadsheet of my books. I have my Excel spreadsheet going back to 2011, I want to say is the first year on it, and I have one sheet for every year, so 11, 12, 13, right? Okay, then I have in that Excel file, I also have a sheet that is all the books I own that I have not read, that I want to read, like want to reread, or books that I'm really interested in and planning on buying at some point. So and then within that spreadsheet, I have marked, yes, I own them. No, I don't own them. So that, like, for example, when I'm playing my game, I spin the wheel, a topic comes up, say it's historical fiction, I can go to that spreadsheet and look, okay, all the historical fictions that I own, which one do I want to pick? Or it also includes the date that I bought the book or received the book, or it kind of just says reread, meaning I've already read it at one point, so there is no purchase date there. Only the unread books have a purchase date. So on that spreadsheet, I have everything. Then I have another spreadsheet with a list of all the books I own. So it's basically all the years added together to one spreadsheet so that I can see if I've read the same book multiple times. Now you can find that in Goodreads as well, but I prefer the ease, and I love Excel. So I can look it up that way. I do use Goodreads as well to track all my books. I record by year that I read them. I record by audiobook. I record for my want to read. I have a want to read shelf, and then I have a want to read owned shelf. So if I own the book, it goes on the own shelf. If I don't own the book yet, but I'm interested in it, it goes on the basic want to read shelf. And then all books, once I read them, get moved into the read shelf with a tag of what year I read them and if it was an audiobook. Those are the only tags that I do. I think that's it with my computer copies, like my Excel and my Goodreads. So let's get into the reading journal. So do I keep a separate reading journal for every year? Yes. So this is my 2022 thing, and then this is my 2023 book. So because they're different colors, that's how I know right now that they're different years. And also the very first page has the year on it. You probably can't really read that. So because this was my first one, I didn't really know exactly what I all wanted in it. And so I did change it up a bit for this one. And then I've added to it throughout the year. So let's talk about that. Okay, so here is my 2023 reading journal. So as you see, the very first page is 2023 reading log. So with my list of my goals. And then in here is the calendar. So on this calendar, I put my YouTube schedule. And then we go back a month or back a sheet. We've got the second quarter, so this has April, May, and June on it. So it has my YouTube schedule along with any time I did a blog post. Now I'm behind on my blog posts. I'm posting them, so hence there's nothing in July. I really need to work on getting caught up and getting that back on track. Okay, so the first page is my goals. Now, I talked about my goals in my mid-year check-in video, so I will link that video below because it will be posted before this one. Okay, then the next page is, so my last reading goal is to stick to my book spending budget as per my reading reward system. So then on the back page is my reading reward system and my spending limit. So kind of how I break that down. Now, my goal was 98 books. I'll talk about this in a second. My goal was 98 books. As you can see, I'm doing fairly well. At the top, I have my legend of what color everything is. Okay, so 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, 2, 1. Then I color in each book. The main color is the star rating. Then the spine, which you probably can't really see very well. The spine is what month it is. Not that big of a deal, it just helps me. And, oh no, that's right. I was gonna say I'm behind for July, but I'm not. So these are books that I have read. Then I started listening to audiobooks this year. So when I set up my journal at the beginning of the year, I was not listening to audiobooks, so I didn't have a spot in here for it. So I created an audio, very similar to my book log, but for audiobooks. So I record all my audiobooks here. As you see, I've already read 8 this year, and I only started in March. I think I read my first one, March or April, I can't remember now. So July, June, May, April. Yeah, so April, I listened to my first ever audiobook. And I do the same thing. So the band itself is the month that I read it in, and then the headphone part is my star ratings. So because I hadn't included this in here, it worked out that I could fit it onto this page in the journal. Okay, so then my next page is my bingo boards. So these are the 24 books that I have prioritized for this year, and these are the 24 books I would like to reread this year. Yeah, this tells you how I'm doing, how I'm not doing. Yeah, I talked about this in my goals, so. And then they're colored in, again, by star rating. Okay, the next page is my read every day. So I color in every day that I've read, so you can tell when I'm filming this. And then when I finish a book, I put what book number it is, and I put little headphones, but I'm not very artistic. So I put little headphones if I listen to it. So, yeah. Okay, then I just have a sheet for Chantel's Read Your Bookshelf Challenge and what I've read. So I'm keeping up with that. Then I have the same thing for Oshina's Romance Reading Challenge. And again, I am keeping up with that. Now I have a sheet for my Alphabet Reading Challenge. And right now I am only recording books on here that fit in the 4 or 5-star category. That may change by the end of the year, but right now that's what I want to do. And I'm doing fairly well. Obviously, kind of the harder letters are missing, but the book I'm currently reading should fit in there. Okay. Then we have my record for my advanced reader copies that I'm reading. My goal was to read one a month. That's not working out, but I'm not going over. I'm just, some months I have not read at all, any arcs. I didn't have any or weren't interested in any. And then I just have a sheet. Have I read it yet? Have I reviewed it, kind of thing. Okay. Then we have my Read Around the World challenge, game board, the rules so that I know. And as you can see, at the end of July, or when I played July's TBR, I landed on the plains. So when I play August TBR, I get to start again. Then I have all my game prompts so that I know what prompts are on the board. Then this is how I record the new releases that are coming out. So just I have the month, the name of the book, the date they're coming out. So this is this year. Fall's looking pretty empty right now. Then I have a sheet for 2024. Then we get into my monthly logs. So the monthly logs, I have what month it is, how many books I've read. So right now I am including audiobooks in that. I'm thinking about changing that for next year. We'll see. Then I have the total number of pages read. Then I put any 5-star reads in this block. And then how many 4, how many 3, how many 2, how many 1. Thankfully, I've had no 1 stars this year at all. Thankfully, very few 2 stars. And then I write down the year they were published because this is just stuff I kind of want to know. So this is January to June. Then I have July to December. And then I have the yearly wrap up, which will put the number of books read, the total number of pages, what my average per month was, and how many 5s, how many 4s, like how many star ratings. Then I just have this little post-it note of what I want to include in here at the end of the year for my wrap up. Then faves, again, this is part of my end of year wrap up. I will write down all my favorites from the year. Then I have a page for any books that have been recommended to me by booktubers. I have not been keeping up on this very well. I have read a couple on here, but not a lot. But I also haven't added to it in a while. Then again, I have other recommendations. So other recommendations I've gotten from just subscribers that have commented, or I've seen it on Instagram, or just anything like that. And then I have a page for DNFs. I guess I thought I might DNF this year, but I have not done that. So there's nothing there. Then I stuck my audiobook tracker in here. So these are the lists of the names of the books that I read, the author, when I finished them, how many times I picked it up to read, because my Libby app tells me that, and the total time listened. I thought this would be interesting to keep track of and see. Now we go into each month. So each month is basically set up the exact same way. So this is January. I have my TBR. So this is based on my TBR game. And then I put a little check mark beside it if I've read it. Then I have my list of new books that are coming in. And I put how much I paid for them, or if I received it as an ARC, and what format I got it in. So it'll say like Kindle or paperback, usually. Yeah. Then on the back of that page, I have my list of books read. And then I put the name and the star rating. And then the number corresponds to my book review section we'll get to. And then I keep track of my earnings. This is based on pages read. And then anything I spent. So this is based on what I've spent here and what I have to spend. Then I participated in 2 readathons in January. So I've got the little graphics for there. And then I just wrote down the name of the books. I don't print off any book covers. And so I just wrote down the name of the books. I did not complete either one readathon, but that's okay. Then I participated in the Around the World in 80 Days readathon. And again, I just wrote down the book titles I read. As you can see, I did not complete it, but I did read Around the World in 80 Days. So that was a success just alone. Then we go into February's the exact same way. You'll see exact same. Books read. So then this is January carryover. So what I had left on my budget, what I earned, what I spent, what I have remaining. Then March, exact same TBR, new books coming in. Now you'll see I have a couple crossed off because I had pre-ordered them and then I decided not to pre-order them. So then I canceled those pre-orders and I read them on Kindle Unlimited after instead. Yeah. Okay, books read, my spending tracker. April, same thing. Books read, spending tracker. No, so this is when I started listening to audiobooks, so now I have the little headphone symbol beside the book number so that I know that it was an audiobook. Okay, then this is another readathon that I guess I didn't have a graphic for it. So I participated in the Spring into Christian Fiction readathon with Katie at Paperbacks and Ponytails. So then this were the prompts, and then I've got the list of the books that I read for that. Then this is May's readathon through Amanda. This is the Southern Charm readathon. So I just wrote the book titles on the side, and I am proud to say I did complete this readathon. Then May, we've got my TBR, and then I might have brought in some books in May. Quite a few new books. But I also read quite a few. Okay, then we come to June. Oh, I don't have Pelican Point checked off. I did read that. And then the new books coming in. So then if I receive it as a gift, I make a note of that so that I know going when I flip back through. And then again, books read. So I got my little headphone symbol for audiobooks, my tracker, and now we are in July. And I have not read any of I am reading one of these books right now, but I've not completed any. But it's the beginning of July when I'm filming this. And I have not bought any books yet, but it's still early. I have finished 2 books so far this month, though. Then, these are the 2 readathons that I'm participating in or plan to participate in. So the summer book bingo, you'll see I've written down titles for the ones that I have completed. And this one hasn't started yet, so I haven't written anything down. Okay, so that is the months. And then I will add. So then I will leave the back of this page for any readathons that are coming up. So say I participate in something in August, it'll go back here. Then I've got pages for August, September, October, November, December. Okay, then, so I've got space to add those in. Then I have my book review section. So in the book review section, each one is numbered. So oops, I should have taken out that yellow page. Each one is numbered. So these numbers correspond with the book number in like my monthly sections. So I put the name of the book, who it was by, what genre it is, when I finished it, where it was set, because I like to know, have I read a lot set in Texas, for example? I think that's probably the only book. What characters are in it? So basically just the main characters. Then I just put my thoughts on the book and what I rated it. So again, the color corresponds to the month I read it. So the first 9 will all be in this purple. This is where I would include any quotes. For example, here, I would include a quote if I wrote down any, like if I kept any quotes. So I would put it at the bottom of the page. So basically everyone is very, very similar. Some have, I ran out of room, so there's the quote. So every single review page is very similar like this. Just very basic, gives me what I want to do. And, oh. Okay then, I guess I didn't make any notes on Hope Harbor, but I've written that review. And I need to go back and fix that. Same with Sea Rose Lane. Wow, okay. And then this was just in the book. I just need to tear it out. When did I say the audiobook was? April, right? Okay. So then I started marking if it was an audiobook so that I knew when I was flipping through it. So that was the first audiobook that I listened to. And you'll see that some I have more notes than others. I just had more to say. For example, I had much more to say about these books than I did these books. I love this book. Okay. Again, got quotes at the bottom. Okay, so as I said, I will mark an audiobook if it's an audiobook. And that is the last book I finished. So then I just have pages ready. Now, and then I have, you'll see, like I've got some, and then so I'll just add as I read. So I have space for that, another divider. So I have quite a few pages left for that. That was a hard decision of knowing how many pages to leave. So we'll see. Did I leave enough or will I need to add more? I don't know. Okay, so then I have my video ideas and notes. So this whole section is all for my channel. So I've just got ideas and then tracking. So these are all just random. Then like if I'm tagged in a video or there's a video I want to do, I will write it here. And then if I end up doing it, I'll make a note that, so for example, this is the Meet the Booktuber tag. I posted this video on January 25th. So I will make a note so that I know, okay, I have done that video. So again, that's what all this section is. So you're getting a sneak peek of some that I might want to do or haven't done yet, or I've already done them. And that's it. So that I have quite a few pages left here. And then just in the back, I have my upload schedule. So I try to post on the 5th, my monthly wrap up. The 10th and the 15th are kind of whatever videos I come up with. On the 20th, I do my mid-month wrap-up, and then on the 25th, again, whatever I come up with, and on the 30th, I do my TBR game. Then I was trying to post on my blog regularly, so I wanted to do it on the 2nd, the 7th, the 12th, the 17th, the 22nd, and the 27th. And then I have extra dates to put in there. Again, not really working because I'm not keeping up with it. We'll see how it goes. Then this, again, is just for my tracking. So my video, have I recorded it? Have I taken the thumbnail pic? Because I'm really bad for that. Have I sent it to Christine? So Christine is my BFF. She edits all my videos for me. So I can mark down that, yes, I've sent it to her. Did I send her the book covers that went with that video? Have I created the thumbnail for it? As you see, oh no, I haven't done that yet. have I created the thumbnail for it? Have I received the video back from her and I'm ready to preview it? And have I uploaded it to YouTube? And when do I want to post it? So right now you'll see kind of where my schedule's at. So then I have pages of that, right? All my videos. Well, that's since January. So it's only 2 pages. But I do have more pages just for extra. That is my 2023 reading journal. So it's very basic, not pretty so much, more just recording the information. I am not an artist. I will never claim to be an artist. I cannot draw for the life of me. And I am good with words and figures and numbers, and that's more my style. Let me write something down rather than drawing something. So that is how I decided to set it up. And it's just really a companion to my Excel spreadsheet. And I especially like having the book review section where I can make notes. Sometimes I do it through as I'm reading the book. Sometimes I do it at the end after I finish the book. I usually will, if I'm reading a book on the Kindle, I will highlight any quotes. Or if I'm reading a book physically, I will take my phone and take a picture of that page, and then I know kind of what quote I want, and then I will write it down afterwards because I try to get my thoughts down before I fill the page with quotes. Yeah, that's so. If I haven't answered any of your questions, just leave them in the comment section below and I'll come back and answer them. If you have any other questions about my reading journal, I really enjoy it. I really love the flipping. Like, I needed something with coil because I like to do this a lot. And I love notebooks. I use notebooks for a lot of stuff. Yeah. So this is my 2023 reading journal, 2022 reading journal. And I have video notes in this one, which I can't find at the moment in time. It's in here. And I will go back to it because I have lists of ideas in this one as well. So sometimes if I'm looking for a video idea, I'll flip back. Okay, what idea did I come up with in this one that I haven't done yet? Or that might be interesting to do. Or I might have, especially for a shelf spotlight video, I have a whole section in here of shelf spotlight ideas. But there's only like 4 books, for example, on this list. So then when I think of another book, I'll come back and add it to this one so that I have enough books to do the shelf spotlight on it. Yeah, so I really kind of boast it on my desk and I use them quite a bit. And yeah, I don't think there's anything else you want to know about my reading journal because that's probably all and more than you ever asked to know. So I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video today, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you. Bye.